Blessed are they, the poor in spirit, theirs is the kingdom of God. Blessed are they, full of sorrow, they shall be consoled. Rejoice and be glad. Blessed are you, holy are you. Rejoice and be glad. Yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are they, the lowly ones, they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst, they shall have their fill. Rejoice and be glad. Blessed are you, holy are you. Rejoice and be glad. Yours is the kingdom of God. Let my soul glory in the Lord, who will hear the cry of the poor. The Lord hears the cry of the poor. Blessed be the Lord. Let the lowly hear and be glad. The Lord listens to their pleas, and to hearts broken God is near. Who will hear the cry of the poor? The Lord hears the cry of the poor. Blessed be the Lord. There is a longing in our hearts, so Lord, for you to reveal yourself to us. There is is a longing in our hearts for love we only find in you, our God. For justice, for freedom, for mercy, hear our prayer. In sorrow, in grief, hear our prayer, O God. There is a longing in our hearts, O Lord, for you to reveal yourself to us. There is a longing in our hearts for love we only find in you, our God. For wisdom, for courage, for comfort, hear our prayer. In weakness, in fear, hear our prayer, O God. There is a longing in our hearts, O Lord, for you to reveal yourself to us. There is a longing in our hearts for love we only find in you, our God. For healing, for wholeness, for new life, hear our prayer. In sickness, in death, hear our prayer, O God. There is a longing in our hearts, O Lord, for you to reveal yourself to us. There is a longing in our hearts for love we only find in you, our God. Those who see light can walk in the dark. Those who see love can see God, can see God. Those who look up will discover God's face. Those who look down will uncover God's path. Those who perceive God is here with us now will see God's return. Those who see light can walk in the dark. Those who see love can see God, can see God. Those who have witnessed the sun's rise and set, those who have studied a flower unfold, those who have focused on land, sea, and sky have seen Jesus Christ. Those who see light can walk in the dark. Those who see love can see God, can see God. Those who see good in each person they need, those who look after their neighbors in need, those who believe God's now living in them will see God's return.
Good evening and welcome, friends. Most of you know me, but for those who are just joining us or perhaps stumbled upon this live, my name is Kathleen, and I own the Townley and Wheeler Funeral Home in Ballston Lake. I consider my 25-plus year profession a corporal work of mercy. I have been blessed by the thousands of families that I have served, and I consider it my duty to give back in very specific ways. Every year, my staff and I have been uniting the families that we serve through this door at Townley and Wheeler Funeral Home and prayerfully welcoming them to a service of remembrance in order to prepare their hearts for the blessings of the season. Tonight, we will nestle in the comfort of our own spaces, but remember that we are in the presence of each other still. I am urging you to prepare your hearts for the blessings upon us. For most of you, it is not like any other season, for you have experienced a recent loss. It is most likely a time of mixed emotions and change for you. For some of you, it is a very true and deep sadness that you are experiencing. I want to help you walk through this journey of grief, and during this next hour, I hope that you find comfort. It is important that you know that I care, and that the group of us who are united this evening are joined together for a common cause. We are here because we are hurting. We are remembering those who have gone before us, and we are giving ourselves permission to cry. We are giving ourselves permission to embrace our feelings tonight. Maybe you are tuning in and remembering a loved one who died several years ago. Maybe you never had the chance to experience something like this. I am inviting you to call upon the people in your lives, all of those special people who have gone before you, no matter how much time has passed by. We have a common thread, and although each of us deal with it on the day-to-day differently, we are going to be connected tonight in prayer, in music, and in spirit. and together it will help us through. Now I would like to introduce Victoria O. Milne. She is a clinical chaplain and educator. She has worked in the fields of bereavement, hospice, psychiatric, and wellness for over 25 years. She uses her expertise and experience as an ordained interfaith minister, a Catholic pastoral associate, and a practitioner of ancient spiritual tools, and she creates meaningful celebrations of life. Her mission is to teach others how to embrace their own inner wisdom and discover the extraordinary joy in the midst of life's ordinary moments and suffering.
Dear friends, this evening we're going to have a wonderful program, as Kathleen said. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the program this evening. We will be ringing a bell. So we invite you to, if you have a bell in your home, to have that nearby. We will ring a bell for you. Ring a bell with spirit, if that is the way that you do it. You have a beautiful ornament that you receive. If you have not received it, you will be able to send away for one and receive it at the end. But during this program, ring that, or ring your heart as we bring your loved one close. Our program begins with a story. We're going to have some wonderful music throughout the evening, and then some tips for self-care for you, and some prayers. So we invite you to join us. First, we're going to begin this evening with another beautiful selection of music by our ministers here. For Paula and Mark Barrett, they're a wonderful couple whose music ministry has been an inspiration for decades in the community. And now let us reflect on the beautiful music that they will provide.
When peace like the river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot you have taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. With my soul, it is well with my soul. My soul is at rest in the Lord God alone. From God comes salvation and hope.
Our program today is called Ring in the Peace. This holiday season, which may have brought you great joy in the past, is very difficult this year because you have experienced a loss. At times it may seem as if everyone is enthusiastic and celebrating, and people act like everyone should be happy. But you walk along with sadness and heartbreak, not feeling part of it. Life is now different. We are gathered here today. Each person has their own loss, and even within families, each individual has a loss that is different. Yet we are also a community of those who have faced death and challenges with similar feelings. So by having this program, we hope that this holiday season and the year to come will be bringing you comfort to celebrate the life of your loved one and go on feeling a little bit better about this holiday season and the future. There is a legend, as retold by author Anthony DeMillo, about an island that used to hold a sacred temple with 1,000 bells. The temple would ring out the most beautiful sounds and the most beautiful sacred music, and hearing those bells brought the listener awe, deep gratitude, and peace. And one day, the island just disappeared. It sunk out of sight. But according to the legend, the bells could still be heard ringing out in unison for those who came to listen. The story tells of a man who learns about this temple, and he longed to hear the bells, so he decided to go himself on a sacred journey to the place where the temple of the 1,000 bells could be heard. He arrived and located the area and then went immediately to hear the bells. But disappointed, he went home after the first day, hearing nothing. Again the next day he went, but again he heard nothing. And he began varying the times he visited, and then he tried going more and more often, all to no avail. He did not hear the bells. This man desired the sound of the bells with his whole heart. He tried to take advice from the villagers because he wanted to do whatever he needed to do to hear those bells. No matter what, he did not hear a sound. He became discouraged, and after many days of trying unsuccessfully to hear the bells, his time at the island had come to an end. He felt discouraged. He decided to give up. He lost hope, believing that maybe this was just a story or something not real, a legend. He was heartbroken, feeling lost and lonely. On his way out of town, he went to the beach one last time to let go and say goodbye. When he arrived on that last day, he lay down upon the sand and gave his body the rest that it needed. Now, with no agenda, he just looked out to the sea, looking at his surroundings and taking it all in. In the past, he had struggled so hard to listen that he never saw the beauty surrounding him. But now that he had let go of his expectations and control, he was just present. In the silence and the peace, he all at once heard it. Just one tingling bell. And then another tingling bell. And then another and another, until all at once he heard the 1,000 bells, pealing out with joy and rapture. He was present. He was present. He heard the ringing, and his heart was full of joy. At last, he heard. Like the sound of a bell whose music reverberates, he left the island and carried that sound in his heart. Though he went throughout his days not seeing it, he felt it still there with him, bringing his life music. In the quiet moments of life, when he listened with his own inner voice, he heard it. Friends, as a community that has experienced grief, what can we learn from this story? We learn that when the man went to the island the last time, he was willing to let go of his judgments and control, and he was letting go of what he believed would happen. And then it did happen. This is much the same with healing and reconciling a loss. It is a journey of letting go. But letting go does not mean letting go of the person or the memories or leaving anything behind. It is letting go of what we think we will see and seeing what is actually there. Just like the man did not let go of what the bells meant to him or his desire to bring them into his life, he only let go of control over something he could do nothing about. He did not get over it or pretend that they did not exist, but he actually made himself more present in the moment. Only by letting go of the disappointment and pain was he able to appreciate something he would have missed. To grieve, we must give up thinking we can control our grieving. Similar to the temple bells, though he could not see the bell, the sound was there. And though you may not see your loved one, they are still there. They live in your heart, the music that they bring into your life. He let go of his judgments and his ideas about exactly the way it should be. He accepted, and he was open to the new ways of seeing. So too, we can try to listen with the ears of the heart, listen to our inner voice and the eyes of possibility. Every one of you joining us this evening has come to remember and honor someone. That person you came here to remember means something to you and to the other lives they have touched during their lifetime. And I remind you today to allow yourself to take the time during this season to remember that person, to spend time with their memory, to acknowledge the music and the sound that they made in your life. As you go throughout the season, it won't be just one thing, but many things that will touch you, because the person was like a bell. Their sound did not ring once, but it reverberated. It reverberated with love. Their life touched you, and it reached out and touched others. It touched all the people they encountered, and the others touched others, so their life had great meaning. Their reach went further and further beyond their physical being. It resonated. And though they are not present in a physical way, their sound goes on. It goes on in the things they touched. It goes on in the love they gave. It goes on in the difference that they made in the world. It can be held in memories and in heart and in all. It goes on and on. So this season, give yourself the time to hear the bells. Remember your loved one's life. And you can cry and remember what you are missing, because it's all part of the love. Then hear the bells and be open to the peace you would like to find within. Give yourself a chance to see it in a new and different way. Every one of us would love to have our loved one back. But it is possible to have a relationship with someone who has passed away. Certainly, you can find them in nature, through voices, through the faces of another, in the love you share with family, in canine or feline companionship. You are human. Remember them. Laugh with thoughts of them. Cry with thoughts of them. Get mad with thoughts of them. All your emotions are okay, and you will have many throughout this journey. You have loved someone and you are missing them, and I invite you to ring your bell throughout the season, and in doing so, honor them and their life as you begin to find peace this season. Now take a deep breath. And I would like you to think about your loved one, though they are not physically present. Can there be a way to still have them present? Can your relationship still grow? Yes. They are like love that goes on and on, like the reverberation of the bell. In a moment, we will ring the bell and say the loved one's name out loud. As the bell rings, think of the person you have come to remember and imagine that that bell ringing is them reaching out to you. Even when you can't hear their sound, they are there with you in the whispers. They are saying, I am here. I am here. Just because I am out of sight, it does not mean I am gone. I am here.
Speak their name. Someone I love has gone away, and life is not the same. The greatest gift that you can give is just to speak their name. I need to hear the stories and the talks of days gone past. I need for you to understand those memories must last. We cannot make more memories since they're no longer here. So when you speak of them to me, it's music to my ears. We remember Isabel Pagano. We hold dear George H. Klein, Jr. We ring the bell for Catherine M. Collins. We're thinking of Rose Ann Millington. We remember Charles Conrad Miltenberger. And we're caring for Muriel Miltenberger. Prayers are sent out for Patricia Galerno. Special thoughts for Richard Hugh O'Rourke. We remember Sade Kennedy. We acknowledge Dennis Nowinski. Forever in our hearts, John C. Goldsmith. With prayerful remembrance of Betty Nye. We're thinking of M. Elaine Raynone. We remember William R. Malloy. We're thinking of Thomas A. Walkowicz. With love for Donald A. Young. Ringing the bell for Dolores J. Droslek. And Richard Droslek. We're praying for Elizabeth Van Horn. Our hearts are here for Joan Spateholtz. And we're thinking of Everett L. Boots Hall. With fond memories of Fred J. Wolbrock Sr. and Florence Wolbrock. We remember with love Andrew J. Raynone Sr. and M. Elaine Raynone. Tonight we ring the bell for Richard Dick Sargood and Doris Sargood. We hold in prayer Alfred Carpenter and Marie Carpenter. We respectfully acknowledge Joan O'Grady, Mary Alice Doyle, Anthony Connors, we remember Mark Alderman, and Suzanne Alderman. We remember Emily F. DeNova and Richard T. Wood. Tonight we're thinking of Bradley S. Nichols. And we're praying for William Tony Matthews. We remember Catherine R. Villardo with prayers for Joe Granato. We ring the bell for Eric Peterson. With love for THERESA Lewandowski. With special thoughts of KRISTEN Long. We're thinking of Thomas O'Donnell. With heart for William J. Lowe's. And Marika Yaksha. We remember Elaine Gay Rolston. We're praying for Vicky Out. With our hearts full for Cindy Martin. The bell rings tonight for Donald Frame. And for Selena Pearlstein. We remember with love Mark S. Wilson. And Julianne Davis. And for all of those whose names weren't mentioned, but we hold close in our hearts tonight, we pause and remember them. Whenever you hear the bell ringing, think of your loved one. Some of them were like a little bell tinkling. They had a small, little, wonderful personality.
Some of them were like a big gong ringing. Some were like a melody. All of them had their uniqueness. So whenever you hear the bell, we remember them. This year, your little ornament has a bell on it. As you look at it, wherever you hang it, remember your loved one in heaven and the sounds that they brought into your life. We have gathered to find comfort in sharing our grief. We have talked about celebration and remembering that special person. But the second reason that we gather this evening is to go on feeling a little bit better, to begin the healing process. There is another story that I want to tell you about the bell. It is a story about Grandma Clara and a little boy who was sick and got sent to Grandma Clara's house so she could take care of him in his illness. And he was up in his room and he was sick, and she tucked him in and made him very comfortable. And then she came to him and she brought him this beautiful silver bell. And it was a magnificent bell. He had seen it up at the top of the china closet during most of his life. It was a bell that no one had ever touched. He imagined that it was used to call servants in days of old, and it was a forbidden bell. But Grandma gave it to him and said, "Ring it whenever you need something from me." He held that bell and admired it, just having the power to know that he could use it whenever he wanted to brought joy to him, and he felt a little bit better. And why do I tell that story this evening? I hope that story helps you to understand that other important reason that we gather here tonight, to take care of ourselves in this grief, to find healing and wholeness so we can live and be the bearers of the memory of those we remember this evening. During the holiday season, you have permission to take a bell and ring it and give yourself what you need. Ring it to ask for what you need. Your voice can be that bell also. Maybe you have always done the holiday cooking, and this year you're not up to it. Ring the bell and ask for help. Maybe you want to go to someone else's house this year, or you want to stay home. Let that be known. Ring the bell. Maybe you decide last minute that you want to change your mind. Grieving is such tough work, and you really need to give yourself permission to do what is best for you this year. Whenever you look at this little angel and the little bell, remember two things. One, your loved one in heaven. Ringing that bell, or in heaven, or on the other side, or wherever they are, and the beautiful music that they brought to your life. And then also remember that this bell reminds you to care for yourself. Ring the bell. It is permission. And now we will listen to a beautiful poem that Kathleen will read for us.
So, as I read this poem, author unknown, think of it as though your loved one were talking to you. When you wake up tomorrow and grief takes your breath away, know that I watch over you and walk with you each day. Though unseen, I stay close by. We're never far apart. The love we shared gives testament to all that's in our hearts. I see the way you struggle now to hold your head up high. I'm proud of you because I know how very hard you try. I wish that I could hold you close and ease the pain you feel. I want so much to talk to you and promise that you'll heal. One day you will see me again, once more within your sight. I'll be right here to walk you in. I'm waiting in the light.
Before we close, I'd like to say two more things about angels. There are angels in heaven, there are angels that surround us, and there are angels among us. And I want to tell one more short story before we end. This was a woman named Annie that I encountered in my hospice work, and she was a great inspiration to me. And I went to visit Annie after her husband died. And she had been so close to him. And she said to me, you know, one of the things that we had when we were young and as we went throughout our marriage was he would come behind me and put his arms around me. And she said when we were young, he would always sneak up behind me and do that. And as we were older, he would do that. And we laid in bed together at night, he would sometimes be behind me. And as I got sick, because she was sick before him, but he passed away first, she said he would stand behind my chair and put his arms around me. So sometimes, she said, I'll go to this wonderful chair that fits me very well, and I sit in it, and I close my eyes, and I feel him embrace me. He's like an angel in heaven. And sometimes, because I'm elderly, she said, I fall asleep thinking about him. He's my angel in heaven. And she said, and then when I wake up from my sleep, I think about the fact that I'm still here, that I have wonderful children, that I have grandchildren, that I have a little kitty that's by my side, and friends, you know, and the community. And I get up and I embrace them with angels' wings. So whether they're close to me, or it's their picture, or it's a telephone, or it's through email, I embrace them. So that story of Annie's is so inspiring, reminds me of those angels that we've lost in our life that are behind us, holding us. They're right there behind us, empowering us as we walk. And those angels among us, the friends, the neighbors, the people on television that inspire us, the people here at the funeral home, beautiful Paula and Mark with their music, all of that we have in our life. So celebrate them this holy season and remember those we love. And thank you for sharing this time with us. As a chaplain, I always end my memorial services by wishing that each person in attendance find the newfound peace of their loved one in the next world or in their new beginning, wherever they found that peace. Thank you for sharing the time with me, Kathleen, everyone here. And may you be able to ring in the peace and honor the memory of those you care for yourself this season. May you ring the bell for the angels with us in spirit and those in front of us. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Good evening.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw the cares away. Christmas is here, bringing the cheer to young and old, meek and noble. Oh, how they bow, raising the sound, or in the bell, telling their tale. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, ding dong, ding dong. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw the cares away. Christmas is here, bringing the cheer to